Hi, it's Matt from Go Green Autos. So here we have a Renault Kangoo ZE van. This is 100% electric. It's got the 22 kilowatt hour lease battery pack. That battery pack that sits there under the floor is rented from Renault. Prices of that start at £25 plus VAT a month, and then for that battery is guaranteed to 60% of its original capacity, and you also get Renault ZE Assist breakdown cover included in that as well. So this is a 2014, but it's the very last day of 2014, so this is still under the Renault warranty. The warranty on the van itself, that's expired because that was 3 years, but the warranty on the EV components, so that's effectively everything under the bonnet there, the drivetrain, the electric motor, the charger and the inverters, that is all warranted until the 30th of December 2019. So the purpose of these videos is to show you the condition. I'm very picky when I point things out, and I show every dent, scratch, stone chip, any negatives I can find, and then that gives the people the confidence to buy the vehicle without coming to view it first, and then I deliver the vehicle to them. So let's talk about the condition. Generally, this is probably the best van I've had in. It is pretty much immaculate. There's just a couple of little things I need to point out, but you know, vans get used, and you know, this one is low mileage. I can't remember exactly what the mileage is done. It's only about 5,000 miles, but yeah, it's in really nice condition. Normally you get dents because this is single skin, you get dents along the side and you get dents along here. But yeah, it's really good. There's a little bit of scuffing on the wheel trims. You always get these on these Kangoo vans because these wheel trims are unique to the electric van, and they do protrude quite a lot, so they do easily rub on curbs. So pretty much on all of them there's some minor scuffing, but you know, it's a plastic wheel trim, so you don't really worry about that. I have replaced one on the other side because it was worse and didn't really match the rest. Tyres are all good as well. So there's nothing really to point out. There's a little bit of glue here. Obviously this had a bit of sign writing on the side, so I need to just remove that. The only thing to point out on this side is this bit of trim is slightly kinked out. I'll have a look at that, but usually you know, people would just glue them, but I don't like doing that. Usually it involves replacing the whole thing, but to be honest, I don't think it's bad enough yet to do that. But clearly it's just been caught on something when someone's opened the door, and it's just bent the plastic a little bit, but it's really I wouldn't worry about it. Wheel trim's great on this side, as is the tyre. The only thing I need to point out on the front is the bonnet here has just been dented down a little bit. You get that quite often. The Renaults always do the same as well. They're not particularly strong. And it had cracked the paint a little bit, you know, only 2mm, so I've just run a bit of touch-up stick in there just to seal the paint again, but it's really insignificant. You know, as you can see, it's hardly showing. No scratching on the plastic bumpers at all there. They're all in really nice condition. While I'm here, I'll just show you the charge port. Still got the flap on. These have a habit of breaking because they have to be lubricated, but being a phase 2 van, what that means, this is the later shape Renault Kangoo, so it's got the different headlights and the new plastic front grille, and being the phase 2, it has the type 2 charging port behind the badge, whereas the other van had a type 1 charging port behind a flap here. Not that that makes much difference because the charging rates are still the same. And new wheel trim, or newish wheel trim on this side. So the only thing I need to point out is on the back. There's absolutely nothing wrong down here. There's no dents, there's no scratches, there's no stone chips. That wheel trim there is very nice as well. This is just a fake blank. This on the diesel body shell, of course, this is where your diesel filler is, but on an electric van, of course, it doesn't do anything there. And then all I've got to point out here is there is a dent here in the back door. But I do have my dent guy calling in later in the week, so we'll see if he can remove that, but it is a little bit too creased, so it's not going to completely disappear, but I'll see if he can make that look a bit better. But that is it. You know, there's a little dent there, That little bit of trim is slightly bent, but apart from that, it's a cracking looking van. Oh, let's show you the back, because that's obviously the important bit on an electric van. So yeah, really tidy. It's all ply lined. The ply is actually quite dark on this, darker than normal, but normally these rubber seals get trashed, and this all gets quite badly scratched, and it actually collects all the dirt all in here. I usually have to take these off and really give these a good clean, but this is as I got it. You can see it's just in really good condition. And we've got the one sliding door on that side, of course, and then here is the charging cable, type 2 to type 2. This one doesn't come with a portable charger, but I can provide those, and what I do is I do a free loan of them. So if you just want to borrow the portable charger until your home or workplace charger unit gets installed, then effectively you buy it, and then I give you 100% of the money back when you return it. So it's completely free loan of it, or indeed you can just keep it and use it. And what that portable charger allows you to do is charge on a normal 3-pin plug. It does take longer because it can only draw 10 amp, but on a battery of this size it will always be charged overnight and ready for the morning. And then the sliding door on this side, yeah, as you can see, it's just obviously a bit of spray paint there, but this aluminium trim and this plastic step and the rubber here is all still looking like new. And this van has the solid steel bulkhead. And then looking on the inside, door cards are all immaculate and not scratched, and it's just pristine inside. You just wouldn't find a van looking any better. The seats are all pristine. I've put new carpet mats in because these don't come with any, it's just a rubber floor, but as you can see the floor underneath is all immaculate. But I put carpet mats in all my vehicles because it just absorbs the dust and the moisture, protects the rubber floor, but it just keeps the vans cleaner. So yeah, as I said, it's all immaculate, everything works as it should do, and to be honest, inside it's still looking like a new van. So on the driver's side here, the door card is in really good condition, it's not scratched at all, and yeah, as I've already said, the inside is all immaculate. New carpet mat down there, and the driver's seat, whereas you'd sort of see wear or tear on it, there's just absolutely nothing on these, it's still like new. So I'll just show you the paperwork. I do only have one key with this one, the spare key is missing, but that's quite common with ex-lease vehicles. This vehicle came from Alphabet, the leasing company. It's had no previous keepers, and the registration date is the 30th of December 2014, and it has just had an MOT on the 23rd of January. So the expiry date, actually it was a month early, wasn't it? Yeah, so the expiry date is the 20th of February 2020. And so yes, it's got a year's MOT, no advisories. However, this electric van is actually MOT exempt. All electric commercial vans under 3.5 tonne are MOT exempt if they're registered before the 1st of March 2015. So it's up to you whether you get future MOTs, but yeah, there is no requirement to have an MOT on this vehicle. And then here we've got all the original books, if that will come out. We've got the book for the radio, quick start guide, and the handbook. And then in the back we have got the service stamp, so it's had one Renault service on the 16th of the 3rd 2016. It's only done 15 miles, so clearly this van wasn't getting used. The servicing on these vans is every 25,000 miles, but to be honest, once a van is out of warranty you don't need to service these. There's no serviceable parts apart from the pollen filter which sits down here above your pedals. That is the only serviceable part on an electric vehicle. The rest is just an inspection, inspecting your tyres, brakes and suspension and whatnot, which pretty much all of that, well, all of it is done more thoroughly in an MOT test. So this van has got the factory fitted radio, which is what you get on the Phase 2 vans. The earlier shape didn't have stereos as standard. It's also got USB and Bluetooth, which is good. And let's just start it up. So to start it, you put your foot on the brake, you turn the ignition on, you wait a second, and then you turn it round to the starter motor, and you're listening for that bleep, and the go light is lit. So a very simple dash on these. You've got your battery here, which is effectively your fuel tank, of course, and it's fully charged here, and it just simply goes down to empty. Very simple to understand. This is your power meter, so when it sits at 12 o'clock you're not using any energy. When you're driving and sticking your foot down, it of course goes round to the red, red being maximum energy, and you want to just sort of keep it as far close to 12 o'clock as you can. When the needle is dropping round on this side, that's when you're regen braking. So when you're lifting your foot off the accelerator, the electric motor effectively turns into a dynamo and is starting producing electricity and putting energy back in the battery pack and recharging the battery pack. So the regen braking on these vans is quite strong, so you genuinely can drive without ever touching the brakes. When you take your foot off the accelerator, you get very strong regen braking, and the van will come to a complete stop pretty quickly. So, and you can drive these for miles and miles without ever touching the brakes. You only touch your brakes to hold it once you have stopped, and of course if you have to do an emergency stop. So they're really nice to drive. They are one pedal driving. So yeah, mileage 3,562 miles down there. The only other thing I would just say, these vans do have preconditioning. So you leave the temperature set round to maximum, where you've got a little clock symbol. You can set up on the dash using the buttons on the end of the stalk. You can set up what time you're going to leave in the morning, for example 8 o'clock, which that's the default actually. And then while the van is connected to your charger, it will switch on the heater and the fan, and it will warm the interior up, and it will melt the ice off the windows, and it will get the van ready and warm for that time. And then when you leave, you've still got 100% battery and 100% of your range, and you probably wouldn't need to use the heating for your journey then, because the van's already hot. The heating system on these vans is a resistive heater, so it does consume quite a lot of energy, and the heating system does take energy from the traction battery. So in the winter, when you're using this heating, you would expect to see roughly a 15 to 20% loss of range in the winter due to the temperature and the heating use. But if you can do the preconditioning every morning, so you warm the van up and melt the ice while it's still plugged into the charger, and then not use the heating while you're driving, you do increase your range quite considerably. This van doesn't have air conditioning. Air conditioning is an option on these, but the preconditioning still does work in the summer, and what it does is it just puts the fans on and tries to move the air and attempts to cool it, ready for your journey as well. So yeah, this is your gear stick. You've got part reverse neutral drive, standard automatic, gear shift, although electric vans do not have gearboxes, but you drive it like a normal automatic. With electric vans you've got a very linear, smooth acceleration because there's no gearbox and you're just running on the electric motor. And then what else can I tell you? Well, down here you got your handbrake, nice big aircraft style handbrake on the Kangoos. You've got a front cup holder there, you've got a back cup holder down here, and then this is your eco button. So this reduces the power to the motor. It increases your range effectively. It does limit your top speed to something like 64 miles an hour, quite can't remember, but certainly on a Motorwell dual carriageway you tend to not want to put it in eco because it does limit your top speed a little bit, but it will increase your range because speed is what kills range more than anything. And then while we're talking about range, on these 22 kilowatt hour Kangoos, range is typically 50 to 65 miles in the coldest of the winters, and then in the summer you're looking at roughly 60 to 80 miles, something like that. It very much depends on how you drive. and how heavy you are with the right foot, no different to a petrol or diesel car. And also speed, you know, motorway speed kills range quite considerably. So like every vehicle, driving style is what determines fuel economy. I think that's all I need to show you on the inside. So just to recap, this is a 22 kilowatt hour electric van. The battery pack is leased, so that starts at £25 plus VAT a month. That battery is then guaranteed to 60% of its original capacity. So that gets more attractive the older the van gets, because you don't have to then worry about the cost of a replacement battery as the van gets older. That battery is guaranteed to 60% of its original capacity. You also get breakdown cover included in that. As I said, these are MOT exempt. There's no road tax currently to pay on electric vehicles, and this is London zone exempt as well, the congestion zone. So obviously this is a zero emission vehicle, so you don't pay the congestion zone. You do have to register that. I think it costs £10 for the year. So there's a significant saving there if you're in London. And to charge these, to charge at your home or workplace, roughly you're looking at somewhere between £2 and £3 to charge this. And obviously, if you're a bit clever with the public charging, if you can find out those free charging posts, then you can run this for peanuts. On the charging, I would also just remind you that the Kangoo vans do not have rapid charging, so these aren't really any good for long distance driving. You're limited to that daily range of sort of 50 to 60 miles in the winter, 70 to 80 miles in the summer, something like that, because the charging is sort of overnight charging. Typically it takes roughly what's the charging on these? I think it's about 5.5 hours to charge these. So you plug it in when you're sleeping at night, effectively, or if you're on a job during the day, you can plug this in. If you've got a granny lead, a portable charger, you can plug this in on a normal 3-pin 240 volt socket, and you can get a charge throughout the day as well. So this one is ready and available now. If you're interested, then do give me a call or email. I can deliver these anywhere in the country. And if you're looking for a Kangoo van, then really they don't get better condition than this. This is still almost looking like new. And as I said, this one being a very late 2014, the drivetrain, effectively the EV components, that's everything there under the bonnet, your electric motor, your inverter and your charger, that is all still under the original Renault warranty until the end of December 2019. If you're watching this video on YouTube and you found it useful, then please do click the thumbs up symbol in the bottom corner, as that helps with the YouTube stats. And if you're interested in other EV videos I make, then subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified when I upload a new video. I know everyone on YouTube now is saying please do like and subscribe at the end of each video, but it really does help the promotion of the YouTube channel if you at least just like the videos if you found it useful. Thank you very much.